Welcome everyone at our bi-weekly ETCD operator community meeting. We have Telegram group where you can join and ask your questions. We also have Slack channel where you can also join and get note about development of official ETCD operator. We probably don't have any new members in this meeting, so we can switch to agenda. And I just wanted to give short catch up from the latest working group ETCD operator meeting. Somehow confusing that we have ETCD operator meeting and VG ETCD operator group meeting. So
So
anyway,
which is which?
yeah, let's call it Ænix ETCD operator meeting and SIG ETCD VG ETCD operator meeting. I don't know. So official ETCD operator. It is going to be developed. The guys made a survey last meeting, the first one in VG. It was meeting where everybody was joining, and we were talking about the results of their survey. They will use results of this survey to create roadmap, and then they will do evaluation for the features created for in other ETCD operator implementations. And I think that we already solved about 30 or 40% of this roadmap. And if we will finish this change you're doing, Maffei, I think we can realize 30% more because we will be able to scale up and scale down replicas. That's news, and we have nothing to talk in OpenFlower, so we can swap to pull requests review.
Well, I do have
Yep.
a few things. So by now, it's maybe a bit problematic that our tests are quite flaky. We're relying on calling external executables from the test suite. So it may be worthwhile to work a bit on changing the test suite we have to use the Golang client instead of calling kubectl.
I don't mind. I think
Mhm.
it might bring us some benefits because maybe tests will be more stable after that.
Yeah, yeah, because the first pull request in the stack that went through the test fine. Obviously, there wasn't too many big changes there. There was just a new package, a new utility package. But the next one, which didn't actually change any logic, it failed. It failed creating an ETCD cluster with TLS, and none of the changes were related to TLS in any way. So, yeah. So the flakiness of the test might be slowing us down. Well, at least it might be slowing me down. Anyway, yeah, regarding these pull requests, as I mentioned in the Telegram channel yesterday, all of the changes are getting quite big. So I reverted my commits. I rebased onto a fresh main branch and started grouping the changes in some logically coherent blocks, which are maybe a bit easier to review, a bit less overwhelming for someone to open up and check out. And so two of the pull requests, I think they can be merged.
Okay, let's assign someone from code reviewers. They're already assigned. So we have to ask them in chat because they're not in this meeting today.
Yeah, maybe, you know what, maybe for I don't know, next meeting, I guess, we can raise the question in, say, the Telegram channel. We can review the list of code owners because every single change is automatically assigned to these 3 people. And maybe, you know, we should spread out the responsibilities among us.
I think we can add you into code owners as well. So you will not be required to get approved from code owner itself. You'll be such code owner and you will be need the code review from someone else, from 2 members. They can
Yeah, but yeah, let's agree that I'll add myself to some sections of the repository. Like, I don't want to be the code owner for the documentation. I'm not that well versed with Hugo and whatnot. But yeah, but for some parts of the Golang code, yeah, I'll add myself. I'll create a new pull request myself.
Thank you. And we have nothing to tell else. There's so much small amount of people. So I think we can finish today and swap to the next.
I think there is another thing. Will you be attending the next week's ETCD meeting?
Sure.
Yeah. So one interesting question they raised at the last meeting is that they have this list of features that they want to get done, and some features are in higher priority than others. But one guy, I think it was Josh, the guy from Google, if I'm not mistaken, he mentioned that, yeah, okay, there's some features which are top priority, and that's the ones we want to focus on. But we need to be careful that, you know, if you implement the top priority features in the simplest possible way, you might block yourself from implementing then the next features in line, because then you have to refactor a lot, just like I'm stuck with doing now, you know?
I was pretty surprised how they were talking about how they would evaluate existing projects. They say that they will just match a roadmap, and I heard nothing about architecture, about code quality, maybe a little about framework they use. But from that point, I think the development of official ETCD operator that will take longer time than just continue developing ours.
Yeah, absolutely. I just the thing is that I will not be able to attend next Tuesday, so it might be worth mentioning the pitfalls that we encountered. I mean, sure, it's very easy to create an ETCD cluster with like 3 or 5 members. But if you do it the easiest possible way, like we started off ourselves, then it becomes really hard to scale it up and down. And maybe that's a good point to raise if you remember it.
Robert?
First question remark concerning the Timothy notes. Why the simplest implementation can block implement the next feature? That's question. For me, simplest value you can just extend. Yeah.
Oh well, it turns out to be not that extendable.
Yeah, I
if
don't
you
mean,
had, yeah.
If you have a simple but quite good design, I think it's fine approach.
There is one case which we already have. For example, it is easy to create to bootstrap ETCD cluster with just 3 replicas, but it might be more with using standard Kubernetes entities like stateful set. But to change this approach for make more smart lifecycle control, like remove one replica, specific replica, and move it to another node, it can be more difficult for implementation later. Instead of we decide using another Kubernetes controller, not stateful set, like custom one, and implement it from the beginning.
Okay, it should not be value to first thinking about the architecture in it all, or how this should be, and then implement.
From my point of view, the most difficult part here is API, because we have to agree on specific APIs, and we had a lot of disputes on how the things should look like in Kubernetes API, and don't care much about the implementation.
Yeah, API. If the API is fixed or it's standard, yeah, and we will follow.
Yeah, implementation.
Internal implementation, it's up to the project. Yeah.
It can be changed, and even now we can even throw out the stateful set and replace it with custom pod controller anytime.
Yeah, but now that you mentioned stateful sets, one example that comes to mind, Robert, say you have an ETCD cluster with pods managed by stateful sets, so you've got replicas 0, 1, and 2. If for some reason a replica number 1 is unhealthy, but you have decided to scale the cluster down to say 2 replicas for whatever reason, you cannot start by killing off replica number 1, because the stateful set, for example, it scales up and down in the order of the. That's just one small example how like a simple solution like using a stateful set can block you later on.
This is probably architecture issue. That's the simplest.
Yeah,
because we use the technology which is not scalable. Okay, but technically I will follow the easy implementation, or clear, not too big, or not to use the heavy. Something like the heavy frameworks or something like that. It's until it's not necessary. Yeah, I would like to say.
Yeah, sure.
I think for now our operator is stable enough to use as to provide basic functionality. We're already happy to use it in Cozy Stack platform, and it already implements the same features done in Kamaji ETCD Helm chart. So it can create cluster which is static, and it just works.
Yeah.
That's a short note.
Yep. The second thing was when this project will finish. Yeah, I think that it's still alive, and it will be alive next few years, I think. Yeah, so it's.
I think we have to consider working with CNCF to move the development of our operator there, and to insist on using our code base, at least partially. I think we can give them information why we decided to use this architecture, how we're going to implement every item in their list of their roadmap, and how it can be implemented after we implement these changes you introduce, Timofey.
If you get this result, or this result that's CNCF accept your as a base code, I think that's ETCD Ænix ETCD team became the core on CNCF, as well.
Yeah, this is another point. We get interested in many people that they can join CNCF as well, because we are solving the same tasks, and I don't see the reason not doing this. Mm-hmm. Maybe someone implemented it better way, but if they still not open sourced their implementation, we made some research of existing ETCD operators. I don't think that they are better.
Can be, but it's not.
Yeah, let's gonna see.
Yeah, it's on the case. If someone is better, can be somehow backport into the project, or it's up to.
Yeah, and the next topic is backups. And I think that we can implement backups very quickly. I believe that ETCD read logic should be fine for just adopting it. But still, we have no developers, much developers at this meeting. Timothy already working on scale up, scale down. And let's talk about that next meeting.
Yeah, we should add probably another action point. As I mentioned, we have to do something about the tests. But I don't think I have the capacity right now. In fact, starting from next week, I'm going to be on vacation for 2 weeks. But I guess what I could do before I go on vacation is not to come with a solution, but to come with a problem. And the fact is that the tests are flaky and they're failing when they shouldn't be. So I could write up an issue.
Robert.
Does exist some documentation or book which can deal with this topic or with this domain? How ETCD domain operator should work or should be?
You mean this? How it works and how to use it? We actually have very basic documentation about how to start using it. And it is based on our examples in GitHub repository. So first
okay, this is documentation due to this project, but this project follows some more generic task or more generic goals, yeah? And who define these goals? Or it's up to you only?
I think the main point here is to solve all the tasks from this roadmap.
Okay.
It is based on request from CNCF for their ETCD operator, and we decided that we follow the same goals.
Okay.
Maybe not all of them, but
okay. Give me the sense of at least the big picture. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will put it here. So almost the biggest part will be solved by implementing this mechanism. We reviewed. Timothy was making beautiful Helm flowchart, and now he's working on implementation of this flowchart approach in the code.
If you don't mind, maybe put another action item that I want to update the links in the roadmap, because I reworked the pull requests, and so the roadmap looks strange. It's like only a single set library when it's a much bigger thing.
Cool. Thank you. Do we have other topics to talk about?
No, from my side. I'm mostly just observer.
In this way, going once, going twice. And thank you everyone for visiting this meeting. See you in 2 weeks, same time.
Thank you.
Bye.